She's sitting at the edge of the bed, perfectly still, watching you. Not the door, not the window. You. Her head is tilted slightly to the left, ears lifted just enough to catch every sound in the room. Her eyes soft, amber, ancient, don't move. She's been there for 3 minutes already. You haven't said a word. You haven't moved, but somehow she knew. She always knows. From the outside, it looks like she's waiting for something. A treat, maybe a walk, a command, but that's not what this is. What she's doing right now has nothing to do with want. It has everything to do with memory. She is watching you because you are her entire world, and somewhere in the architecture of her mind, she has cataloged exactly who you are. The rhythm of your breathing, the specific weight of your silence, the particular way your shoulders carry grief before you've even named it yourself. You haven't told anyone how you've been feeling, but she already knows. And here's the strange thing you realize looking back at her, that she might be the only one who does. If you've ever had a moment like that, a moment where your dog seemed to understand something you hadn't said out loud, something you barely understood yourself. You're not imagining it, you're not projecting, you're not being sentimental. What you're experiencing is one of the most well-documented, deeply biological bonds in the history of human existence. And if your dog has become, in some quiet and sacred way, your primary emotional anchor, your first thought in the morning, your reason to come home, your only consistent witness that isn't dependency, that isn't weakness, that is your nervous system responding to something real. This is about what happens when a dog doesn't just share your life, but holds it. There's a concept in attachment psychology called a time-secure base. It was developed to explain the way infants behave around caregivers, how a child will explore the world more boldly, recover from fear more quickly, and regulate distress more effectively when they know someone safe is nearby. John Bowlby, the psychiatrist who built much of modern attachment theory, described it simply, the presence of a trusted figure doesn't just comfort us, it changes what we're capable of. Decades later, researchers began applying the same framework to dogs, and what they found was startling. Dogs function as secure bases for humans in measurable, neurological ways. Their presence activates the same psychological circuits as human attachment. When you're in a room alone, your threat detection system runs at a low hum. When your dog is in the room, it quiets, not because the danger has changed, because your brain has registered the presence of something it trusts, something that has never left. Think about that. In a life where people have come and gone through distance, conflict, misunderstanding, or simple change, your dog has stayed, shown up every single morning, never revised their opinion of you, never needed you to explain yourself. Over years, sometimes over a decade, this consistency does something to the human brain. It builds a kind of emotional infrastructure. A place inside you that knows, this is safe, this is mine, this has never failed me. When that bond becomes your primary one, it's not a failure of human connection. It's evidence of how deeply you were built to attach and how honestly your dog has met that need. There's a man named Shigeru Miyamoto, not the game designer, but a Japanese researcher who once tracked the eye contact patterns between dog owners and their pets over extended periods of time. What he found echoed something that had only previously been documented between mothers and infants. When a dog and their person gazed into each other's eyes, both experienced a rise in oxytocin, the neurochemical most associated with bonding, trust, and love. Not just the human, the dog too. The bonding was mutual, measurable, and physiologically identical to the chemistry of attachment between parents and children. This is not a metaphor. Your dog looks at you and experiences love in a way that registers in their brain the same way love registers in ours. They are not performing loyalty. They are not trained into affection. They are genuinely, chemically bonded to you in a way evolution spent 15,000 years perfecting. Because here's what nobody tells you about the history of dogs and humans. We tend to think of domestication as something humans did to dogs. We chose them, we trained them, we shaped them, but the science increasingly suggests the opposite may be closer to the truth. Dogs may have chosen us first. Around 15,000 years ago, somewhere along the edge of human settlements, wolves began a slow migration toward human fire. Not for food scraps, though, that helped. But because something in their social architecture recognized something in ours, both species were cooperative. Both formed tight, emotionally complex bonds. Both used gaze, posture, and vocal nuance to communicate across groups. Both needed witnesses. The wolves that tolerated human proximity survived. Their offspring, slightly less fearful, survived better. Over generations, what emerged wasn't just a tamer wolf, it was an entirely new kind of animal. One with a unique, evolved ability to read human faces, follow human pointing gestures, and respond to human emotional states with sensitivity that even our closest primate relatives don't match. Dogs did not just adapt to living with humans. They evolved, specifically, to understand us. Your dog's ability to sense your mood, to find you in a crowd, to wait at the door at the exact time you're due home, none of that is coincidence. It is the result of thousands of generations of animals selecting for attunement to human beings. Your dog is, in the most literal biological sense, built for you. And this is where it gets fascinating. Because when humans experience trauma, loss, or prolonged emotional isolation, something shifts in the brain's relational circuitry. The capacity for trust doesn't disappear, it becomes more selective. The nervous system, having learned that unpredictability is dangerous, begins to route around human connection and find stability elsewhere. In routine, in sensation, in whatever remains constant. For many people, what remains constant is the dog. The morning walk that never gets canceled. The weight on the foot of the bed. The specific smell of fur and warmth that your body has learned to associate with calm. Neuroscientists call this times state-dependent memory, times the way our brains encode experience not just through thought, but through the body's physical sensations. The smell of your dog's fur in the morning isn't just pleasant. It is literally encoded in your memory as safety, as continuity, as proof that you are still here, still held, still known. For people who have lost much relationships that ended, people who died, versions of themselves that no longer exist, the dog becomes something more than companion. They become the living archive. The only being who remembers who you were before, and has watched every quiet step of who you're becoming. They carry your history in their body because they've been there for all of it. That is not small. That is one of the most profound forms of witness available to a human being. Think about what it means to be truly seen, not explained to, not advised, not encouraged or redirected. Seen, just met, in the exact place where you are, without any pressure to be somewhere different. Most humans find this extraordinarily difficult to offer. We are wired towards solution, narrative, reciprocity. Even people who love us dearly struggle to simply be present without wanting something from us in return, a response, a recovery, a performance of wellness. Your dog wants none of that. When you are lying on the floor at 2 a.m. because the weight of existing has gotten very heavy, your dog does not evaluate the situation. They do not recalibrate their opinion of you. They lay down beside you. They match their breath to yours. Gently, without performance, they do the most therapeutic thing any living creature can do. They stay. This staying, this unremarkable, radical staying has measurable effects on the human body. Heart rate variability, a marker of nervous system resilience, increases in the presence of a dog. Cortisol, the primary stress hormone, decreases. Blood pressure lowers. Breathing slows. The body receives the signal you are safe, you can rest, the threat has passed, not because anything has changed, but because something trustworthy is near. Your dog is not just emotionally supportive. They are physiologically regulating you. Every single time they lay beside you, they are, in some quiet way, healing you, and the bond shifts over time. That's one of the things people rarely talk about, the way the relationship between a dog and their person deepens and changes with each year, the way it mirrors the human's internal life in ways that can feel almost uncanny. The dog who slept at your feet through your loneliest year. The one who learned to approach differently after you flinched that one afternoon and they noticed. The one who stopped jumping when you started coming home quieter. Dogs do not need to be trained to adapt to us emotionally. They observe, they absorb, they reorganize their behavior around who we are now, not who we were when we first brought them home. And in doing so, they become a living record of our growth, of every version of us they've witnessed and accepted without condition. If you think about the arc of a dog's life spent alongside yours, it contains multitudes. They were there for the before. They are here for the after. And everything they've seen of you, they've loved without revision. So when your dog becomes your only memory, when they are the thread connecting who you were to who you are now, when they are the first face you think of in crisis and the last warmth you feel before you sleep, that is not a symptom of something wrong. It is the story of an animal who has done exactly what they were built to do. What 15,000 years of evolution prepared them for. And it is the story of a human who found, in the middle of all the noise and loss and ordinary heartbreak of being alive, something that stayed. Something that looked at them, tilted head, soft eyes, ancient and steady, and never once looked away. You don't have to understand it completely. You don't have to justify it to anyone. Some bonds defy easy language. Some love is simply quieter and closer to the ground. She's still watching you. Let her.